Well, later today I'm going to be getting a Raspberry Pi in the mail, and I don't mean the type you eat. You know, I don't think I've ever actually had a Raspberry Pi. Do they make them? I mean, I guess it'd be kind of rare and expensive. But anyway, it's actually a computer that's about a credit card sized computer. It's a kit that you build, and you can connect a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor to it. And it's very cheap. You can get them as cheap as $25 or $35, depending on what you get them with. Those are just the bare boards, and you'd need some accessories. I spent about $70 or so, and I got all the stuff I need, like the power supply and the case and all that stuff. So we'll see how it works out. I'm very interested in it. I think there's a lot of different uses it could be put to that will be pretty cool. They initially designed it because they wanted to make a cheap computer for kids to learn how to program on. So we'll learn more about the Raspberry Pi computer later on today. Well, there it is, the Raspberry Pi package I've been waiting for. I shall have to open this immediately. I'm Mungo Darkmatter, and welcome to Dark Matters. Today on Dark Matters I'm going to be unboxing and taking a look at the Raspberry Pi computer. Alright, here's the box the kit came in. It's called a CanaKit, which is put out by a company called CanaKit, I believe. And it's a Raspberry Pi Model B in its revision 2. It has 512 megabytes of memory. Alright, the first thing we got in this particular kit, this is the HDMI cable. This right here appears to be the clear case. Yep, that's the case that it will go in. It's very small, it's about credit card size. I believe this is the actual computer right here. Just set there. This is a USB power adapter. This is the SD memory card that already has the operating system burnt onto it. And here's some materials that came with it. The company is CanaKit, and it's at www.canakit.com. It's apparently a Canadian company because it's got a little maple leaf there. What I'm going to do is I'll open up this case right here. And it snaps open. Now you can get this board. This is Model B revision
two. You can get this board separately. But this kit has a case with it. And it just snaps right in there. Fits very nicely. Let's put on the top here. You want to make sure you get it seated properly within this box so that all of the cutouts fit correctly. Here we have two USB connectors and a RJ45 network connector. There's some expansion slots right here, and there are holes in the box that correspond to those. We have an HDMI connector right here for the screen, or a standard old-fashioned video connector like you'd use in old VCRs. This connector isn't used that much anymore, but you could connect it to an older TV with that. And this is a sound jack right there for the sound if you use this video connector, or if you want to run the sound out, I guess, through another set of speakers. Alright, so we'll just connect that like that, and it's all assembled. And so now all there is to do is plug it in and experiment with it. This is an assembled Raspberry Pi computer. Right here, this cable is a mini USB plug which connects to a power supply, just like a lot of standard power supplies for cell phones do now. In fact, you could use a standard cell phone supply to power this unit. Right here is the SD card that has the OS on it to boot the computer. Down here is the HDMI adapter to connect to the monitor. Up here, this yellow thing right here is a old style video connector, the type you find on VCRs. This blue thing right here has a plug in the end for audio. Right here are two USB connectors, one to a mouse and one to a keyboard. And this blue cable coming in here is a network cable. There are also these holes in the top of the case for various other expansions that are planned or already exist for this Raspberry Pi computer. So it's a nice little setup right here. You can get different cases for it. I chose a clear case because it makes it easier to show what the computer's like, but you can get a red case, a blue case, a black case, any number of different types of cases for it, or make your own case, or get a generic case and put it in it. It's about the size of a credit card, so it's not very big, so it's pretty easy to find a container that it will fit in. This is Raspbian, which is one of the operating systems you can load onto the Raspberry Pi computer. It's basically a version of Linux, the Debian distribution of Linux that's made for the Raspberry Pi. It asks for a login, which is Pi, and a password, which is Raspberry. And then we come up to the command prompt. We have to type start X and then enter, and that will bring up X Windows, which is the graphical user interface for Linux and various other versions of Unix. And there's a big Raspberry there, and there are some programs. I'm going to go down here, and this is a web browser. I'm going to go to a website here. And so we've got internet connectivity, we've got a web browser on here, we've got some other applications on here. that I'm going to investigate later. There's a Pi store where you can apparently buy applications like you would on the iTunes store or from the Microsoft store that they now have in Windows 8, where you can purchase applications. So anyway, this gives you an idea of what the OS looks like once the machine's booted up. I'm Mungo Darkmatter, and this has been Dark Matters, and whatever you do, enjoy technology.